Proctoring for computer-based tests are very similar to proctoring for paper-based tests. Circulate periodically around the room during administration. Be sure students are transferring their answers from their scrap paper into the test delivery system. From the Review and Submit button, be sure students have completed all questions. Any question that is not answered will be shaded in yellow. Be sure not to comment to the student on the correctness or sufficiency of any answer. Under no circumstance should you use cell phones or other photographic devices to duplicate the test. During the test, do not interpret or explain test questions to students. If a student does ask you questions concerning the meaning or interpretation of a question, please advise the student to use their own best judgment. Proctors may only give assistance to students in the mechanics of taking the test, specifically understanding the navigation of the Nextera test delivery system. During your role as a proctor for computer-based tests, the most significant difference is the use of the proctor pin. The proctor pin is needed anytime a student pauses or exits out of the test. This could occur for a bathroom break, a lunch break, or any other reason a student needs to step away from their computer. The proctor pin is obtained from your principal and should be included in your testing envelope or bin. Each school has a unique proctor password. This password should not be shared with students under any circumstances. If by chance a student does see or write down the proctor pin, please let Mr. Lovett know and he will change the pin for the next day. Also during the test, students have been instructed before they submit to raise their hand and have a proctor check to make sure that all questions have been answered. Unanswered questions will be shaded in yellow. Questions that have been bookmarked for further review have a bookmark icon in the upper right-hand corner. You may also notice, as in question 12 on this screen, there may be a note written. Please advise students to review those questions before submitting. Before the test begins, please make sure the students have the following: their login tickets, which will be on a 3x5 index card, the session access code, which is different from the proctor pin. The session access code will be used to log into the correct session, and it will change from day to day. The proctor pin, teachers should have directions, students should have scrap paper, one sheet of lined paper for ELA, and for math, graph paper, as well as a sheet of regular scrap paper. A school-provided calculator, and a math reference sheet. Both the calculator and the reference sheet are available electronically within the Questar Nextera testing platform. When students sit for the test, most likely their Chromebook will be in kiosk mode. This means that as soon as the student opens the Chromebook, the test will pop open and the login screen will be available. In situations where that does not happen, please restart the Chromebook or switch the Chromebook out. For makeup tests, the kiosk mode app will need to be launched from the bottom dock. It will be a multicolored icon and it will say Questar Secure Browser. It will be located at the bottom near the Chrome browser. Students will sign into the Nextera test delivery system using the username and password provided on the index card. This username and password is different from any username and password they've ever used before. They will not use this again for any other reason other than the test. At the end of the test, please collect their card so it can be used for both ELA and for math. After students log in, they will see a verification screen. They will check this information to make sure it is accurate. If everything is correct, they will press yes. If it is incorrect, they will press no. If the following is incorrect, spelling of the name or date of birth, the student may continue to test. If the wrong student name appears or the grade is wrong, please contact your building principal, who will contact Mr. Lovett to have it fixed. Once the student is completely logged in and they have verified their identity, they will choose a test session to begin. A student will choose session 1 on day 1 and session 2 on day 2. If by chance a student selects the wrong session, they will not be allowed to enter because the access code will not work. After selecting their session, students will be given the opportunity to scroll through directions. Your students may choose to skip this, as they have gone through this with Mr. Lovett prior to the test. At this point, students will be asked to enter an access code. This access code will have been provided to you. There will be a separate access code for session 1 and session 2. Once students have entered the access code, they will wait to start until you give them permission. Students may start on your command. Once again, if a student needs to pause and resume the test, you will need to enter the proctor PIN. Again, this PIN is secure and private. Please do not share it with the students. The process of pausing and resuming is as follows. The student will pause the test using the pause sign out button in the upper right hand corner. When the student returns, they will log back in using the username and password from the index card. They will enter the session access code. You will enter the proctor PIN and the student will resume testing. Once testing is complete, please be sure to collect all scrap paper, login tickets, reference sheets, and return them to your principal. Teachers and proctors and other proctors who are administering are not to discuss test questions or any other specific test content with each other via online email or any other electronic means. If there are any irregularities and or misadministration, please contact your building principal immediately. Please don't forget to sign the proctor certificate, which may be located in the main office. Thank you, and if you have any questions, please contact your building principal or Mr. Lovett.